Hello, night travelers. It is a quiet pleasure to welcome you back to our peaceful corner of the Night Observer, a place where tired souls may find comfort, where restlessness softens, and where the mind is free to wander slowly into sleep beneath the vast and mysterious universe. If this space brings you calm, a small gesture such as liking and subscribing helps keep this gentle flame of knowledge glowing through the night. Now, night travelers, settle into the sofa. Listen to the soft rain tapping against your window while you remain safe and warm in your quiet room, the fire glowing nearby. Let your shoulders loosen completely. Feel the warmth spreading slowly from your chest to your fingertips. Take a deep breath and release it gently. Tonight, we begin a new journey together. Deep Sea, Mysteries of the Deep Sea. We have wandered across Ice Age plains and through forests older than memory itself. But this evening, we will not gaze upward at the stars, nor downward at ancient bones. Instead, we will travel inward and downward, beneath the mist of time, beneath restless waves, into the most mysterious kingdom of our planet. Welcome to Chapter 1. The ocean, the planet's blue soul. Oceanus, the god of the endless river. Dear night travelers, before we descend into the eternal darkness of the deep sea, allow your thoughts to linger on the origin of this vast presence. The word ocean carries with it the breath of ancient mythology. It is drawn from Oceanus of Greek legend. Oceanus was not a ruler of seas like Poseidon, but a titan, an embodiment of a boundless river with no beginning and no end, encircling the entire world. To the ancients, this river was a protective embrace around the continents, the source from which all rivers and springs were born. In early depictions, Oceanus often bore a dragon's tail, a symbol of untamed power and primordial mystery. From a scientific perspective, the name could not be more fitting. The ocean is a single, continuous body of salt water, covering approximately 70.8% of Earth's surface. It is far more than a beautiful horizon. It is a vital part of the planet's hydrosphere, a vast reservoir of heat that regulates climate and the engine of photosynthesis that provides roughly half of the oxygen we breathe. If Earth were a living being, the ocean would be its blue blood, sustaining every form of life. The dawn of hell. Close your eyes and journey back to the birth of our planet, some 4.54 billion years ago. Earth was not yet the gentle blue sphere seen from space today. It was a realm of fire and chaos. The young planet glowed like a furnace, its surface covered by swirling oceans of molten rock. Temperatures soared beyond 1,200 degrees Celsius, hot enough to destroy any trace of organic life instantly. The sky was not blue, but thick with suffocating clouds of carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and water vapor released from relentless volcanic eruptions. Water, the future soul of the oceans, could not yet exist as liquid. It remained locked as vapor in the burning atmosphere or trapped deep within molten stone. Then came a pivotal moment, a colossal collision with a Mars-sized body known as Theia. The impact stripped away Earth's early atmosphere and gave birth to the Moon. In its violence, this event reshaped the planet, leaving behind a rotating liquid iron core that would one day generate a protective magnetic field, a silent guardian that would allow the oceans to endure. The origin of water, visitors from the stars. Night travelers, breathe deeply and join me as we consider a timeless question. Where did the water come from to fill these immense basins? Science offers two explanations, both elegant and deeply poetic. The first suggests that water emerged from within. As Earth cooled, immense volcanic activity released vast quantities of water vapor from the planet's interior, a process known as outgassing. Dense clouds gathered, waiting patiently for the moment when temperatures fell low enough for rain to begin. The second explanation reaches beyond our world. Around 3.9 billion years ago, during the late heavy bombardment, countless meteorites and comets struck the Earth. Locked within these travelers from the outer solar system were tiny salt crystals holding ancient droplets of water. Over millions of years, impact by impact, these celestial visitors, together with Earth's own vapor, filled the planet's lowlands. Every sip of water you drink today, every drop of rain touching your window tonight, may once have drifted through the darkness of space, older than the Earth itself, carrying memories of distant stars, the millennium rain, and the birth of the primordial ocean. Night travelers, imagine the moment Earth was first cooled by water. When the crust finally hardened and temperatures fell below boiling, the sky opened and began to weep. This was not a passing shower. It was rain without pause, falling for thousands of years. Water streamed across dark basalt rock, dissolving minerals and filling craters left by ancient impacts. Zircon crystals found in Western Australia, dating back 4.4 billion years, confirm that liquid water existed far earlier than once believed. By approximately 3.8 billion years ago, Earth had truly become a water world. Yet these early oceans were not the deep blue we know today. Rich in dissolved iron, they likely appeared greenish, their waters far warmer than modern seas. Above them stretched an orange-tinted sky filled with methane, a scene so alien it would feel like another planet entirely. The magnetic shield and the young sun paradox. Here is a quiet paradox: night travelers. In its youth, our sun shone at only about 70% of its current strength. By all logic, Earth should have frozen solid, yet it did not. Greenhouse gases, carbon dioxide and methane, formed a warming veil that trapped heat and kept the oceans liquid. At the same time, Earth's liquid iron core awakened, generating a magnetic field around 3.5 billion years ago. This invisible shield deflected powerful solar winds that might otherwise have stripped away the atmosphere and boiled the oceans into space. Through the delicate balance between fire below and water above, the oceans endured, eventually becoming the cradle of life within the deep-sea hydrothermal vents. Night travelers. The story of the ocean teaches us that life is not born from peace, but from the transformation of chaos into harmony. The ocean is not merely water. It is the legacy of planetary collisions, volcanic breath, and gifts from the stars. It has survived 5 mass extinctions, witnessed the reign of ancient giants, and quietly prepared the stage for humanity's first steps. Your breathing is now slow, deep, and steady. Let images of endless rain, green iron seas, and Earth's protective magnetic shield carry you gently towards sleep. You rest beneath the watchful gaze of 4.5 billion years of history, embraced by a planet that has shaped itself for your presence tonight. Everything is unfolding in a calm and perfect order. Set aside the weight of daily life and the uncertainties of tomorrow. Tonight, your only task is to rest. Let the rain outside soothe your soul. Close your eyes and sink gently into the vast, eternal ocean. Take a deep breath and let it go slowly. We have already journeyed through the origins of the planet's blue soul, the vast oceans shaped by millennia of rain and icy visitors from the far reaches of the cosmos. Tonight, allow your thoughts to drift downward, gently passing through shimmering waves as we explore the layered architecture of the water kingdom and approach the threshold of eternal darkness. Welcome to our story, the water layers and the door to the deep sea. The threshold of light, the epipelagic layer, 0 to 200 meters. Dear night travelers, our descent begins at the surface, where sunlight still dances freely upon the waves. Oceanographers call this uppermost layer the epipelagic, more commonly known as the photosynthesis zone. Though thin, extending only to about 200 meters, it is a layer of immense power. Here, sunlight fuels one of nature's greatest miracles, photosynthesis. Tiny phytoplankton use light, water, and carbon dioxide to create organic matter that supports nearly the entire marine food web. For this reason, the epipelagic layer hosts the richest biodiversity in the ocean: vibrant coral reefs, shimmering schools of fish, and the great predators familiar to us. Yet light has its limits. Water absorbs red wavelengths first. Within just 50 meters, the color red disappears entirely. What remains is a deepening blue, the final color capable of reaching down to about 200 meters. At this depth, light is reduced to barely 1% of its surface strength. This quiet boundary marks the end of the shallow sea and the opening of a far stranger realm. The twilight world, the mesopelagic zone, 200 to 1,000 meters. Night travelers take another slow breath and pass beyond the 200-meter threshold. Welcome to the mesopelagic zone, often called the twilight zone. Here, light lingers faintly, like an endless dusk that never turns to day or night. This dim glow is no longer strong enough to support photosynthesis. No new food is produced. Life survives instead on what drifts down from above. Tiny fragments of organic matter known as marine snow, a steady fall of remains and waste from the sunlit world. This zone also contains an invisible yet powerful feature, the thermocline. As you descend, warm surface waters suddenly give way to cold depths. By 1,000 meters, temperatures drop sharply to around 5 or 6 degrees Celsius, forming a boundary that separates entire water masses. In this dim blue haze, creatures with enormous eyes appear, straining to capture the last surviving photons and to spot the faint silhouettes of prey far above. The Midnight Kingdom, the bathypelagic layer, 1,000 to 4,000 meters. Now, night travelers, allow your body to relax completely as we pass the 1,000-meter mark. Here, darkness is no longer an idea, it is absolute. We have entered the bathypelagic layer, also known as the midnight zone. No sunlight ever reaches this realm. Pressure becomes a constant and overwhelming presence, increasing by 1 atmosphere every 10 meters. At depths of 4,000 meters, the force is enough to crush most unreinforced machinery. Temperatures remain steady and severe, hovering between 1 and 4 degrees Celsius. This vast zone alone covers more than 66% of the Earth's surface. Time feels suspended here, and life has evolved in extraordinary ways. Many creatures possess soft, flexible bodies to endure the crushing pressure. Others produce bioluminescence, soft glows of living light used to attract mates, confuse predators, or lure prey in the endless night. The endless abyss, the abyssopelagic zone, 4,000 to 6,000 meters. Night travelers sink deeper still into the abyssopelagic zone, also known as the abyssal zone. Its name comes from the Greek abyssos, meaning bottomless. This realm is dominated by vast abyssal plains, the flattest, most uniform landscapes on Earth, blanketed by layers of fine sediment accumulated over millions of years. Food is exceedingly rare. Only 1 to 3% of the energy from the surface ever reaches this depth. And yet, life persists. Around hydrothermal vents, superheated, mineral-rich water rises from deep within the Earth. Here, chemosynthetic bacteria thrive, drawing energy not from sunlight, but from the planet itself. These vents form luminous oases, islands of life in a cold, dark desert. The deep underworld, the hadal-pelagic layer, 6,000 to 11,000 meters. Finally, night travelers, if you wish to continue to the very end, we arrive at the hadal-pelagic layer, named after Hades, ruler of the underworld. This is the realm of the deepest ocean trenches, vast scars carved into the Earth's crust. The most famous is the Mariana Trench, whose deepest point, Challenger Deep, descends beyond 10,900 meters. Were Mount Everest placed here, its summit would still lie more than 2 kilometers beneath the surface. Pressure in this realm exceeds 1,000 atmospheres, comparable to the weight of a jet engine pressing down on a single thumb. To survive, organisms must undergo remarkable chemical and cellular adaptations, reshaping proteins and membranes to withstand unimaginable force. This is Earth's final frontier, visited by fewer humans than have walked on the moon. Your breathing is now slow, deep, and steady. The layered structure of the ocean teaches us that it is not merely a body of water, but a vertical epic. Each meter descended a page recording resilience, adaptation, and time itself. From the bustling epipelagic world to the profound stillness of the Hadal depths, the planet has spent billions of years shaping this hidden realm. For this quiet moment, and for you. Let images of icy waters, soft bioluminescent glows, and endless abyssal plains carry you gently towards sleep. You are safe beneath the watchful presence of billions of years of history, embraced by the calm and timeless deep sea. Everything is unfolding in a gentle and perfect order. Release the pressures of life and the shadows of tomorrow. Tonight, your only task is to rest. We have traced the blue soul of the planet and passed through its shimmering layers. Now, let your thoughts drift even deeper, beyond the last traces of light, into a realm where time itself seems to have paused for billions of years. Welcome to the next story, the harsh environment, where time stands still, the threshold of eternal darkness. Dear night travelers, close your eyes and imagine yourself suspended at the edge of the mesopelagic zone, around 200 meters below the surface. In our world, light governs everything. It defines day and night, nourishes life, and warms the skin. But here, that familiar order begins to dissolve. Sunlight, capable of crossing vast distances through space, is slowly defeated by seawater. Looking upward, the sun appears only as a pale, distant glow. The color red vanished long ago, absorbed within the first 50 meters. What remains is a muted, cold blue. At this depth, light is reduced to about 1% of its surface strength. Photosynthesis ends here. There are no plants, no plankton forests, only descent. Beyond 1,000 meters, within the bathypelagic zone, darkness becomes complete. There is no dawn, no dusk, no rhythm of days. Time, as defined by the sun, loses all meaning. In the deep sea, millions of years pass beneath an unbroken night. The invisible giant, terrifying pressure. Night travelers, allow yourselves to relax as we speak of the most formidable force in this hidden kingdom: pressure. On land, we live beneath a gentle blanket of air, one atmosphere of pressure that we scarcely notice. But beneath the waves, pressure becomes an uncompromising adversary. For every 10 meters you descend, pressure increases by roughly 1 atmosphere. The change is relentless. In the deepest trenches, such as the Mariana Trench, pressure exceeds 1,000 atmospheres. To imagine such a force, picture the weight of a jet aircraft pressing down on a single thumb. While life on land unfolds in an open, fluid environment where movement feels effortless, the deep sea is a realm of extreme density. The pressure here is so immense that even the strongest steel structures would collapse without special reinforcement. This invisible barrier is the reason the deep ocean remains the least explored biome on Earth. In this crushing stillness, time seems to slow. Every motion demands resistance, and life itself has been forced to adapt at the most fundamental level, altering proteins and cell membranes so they do not buckle beneath the unimaginable weight. The primordial cold. Now, night travelers, feel a quiet chill drift gently into your thoughts. On land, temperature moves with the rhythm of the seasons. Summer's heat, winter's bite. In the deep sea, such variation is unknown. Below the thermocline, where warm surface waters abruptly surrender to cold, the ocean settles into a remarkable stability. temperatures remain between -1 and 3 degrees Celsius. There is no sunrise or sunset, no seasonal cycle. The deep sea is the most thermally stable environment on the planet, a cold that has endured, almost unchanged, since Earth's earliest ages. This icy water originates in the polar regions. As surface waters near the Arctic and Antarctic cool and grow denser, they sink and begin a slow, silent journey along the ocean floor toward the equator. The pace is so gradual that a single body of water may take centuries, sometimes thousands of years, to complete its passage. To touch deep sea water is to touch a current carrying the memory of distant centuries, a cold more profound than any desert night or mountain summit. The rain of death and life, sea snow. Night travelers. Imagine snowfall drifting through a night without stars. On land, life depends on sunlight. But in the deep ocean, life survives through a strange and almost poetic phenomenon known as marine snow. Unable to harness light, deep-sea organisms depend entirely on what descends from the bright surface world above. Marine snow is a slow, continuous fall of organic debris, dead organisms, phytoplankton, and biological waste. These particles drift downward at only about 100 meters per day. A single fragment may take more than a month to reach the floor of a 4,000-meter abyss. Food is painfully scarce. Only 1 to 3% of the energy produced at the surface ever reaches the deep seabed. If the surface ocean is a constantly renewed banquet, the deep sea is a desert, where inhabitants wait patiently for each rare gift falling from the distant light above. At times, however, the abyss receives an extraordinary offering: whale falls. When a giant of the ocean dies, its body sinks into the depths, transforming into a rich oasis of nourishment. For decades, thousands of creatures gather around this sudden abundance. In the deep sea, the end of life at the surface becomes the beginning of a quiet miracle below. Furnaces in the cold desert. Yet, night travelers, the deep sea is not only a place of darkness and scarcity. Amid the frozen plains of the abyss, nature has ignited astonishing beacons, hydrothermal vents. From fractures in the ocean floor, mineral-rich water heated to temperatures approaching 400 degrees Celsius erupts through towering black chimneys. The surrounding pressure prevents the water from boiling, creating an environment where searing heat and near-freezing cold exist just meters apart. These vents host one of the rare ecosystems on Earth that does not rely on sunlight. Instead of photosynthesis, life here depends on chemosynthesis, bacteria converting chemical energy from sulfur and other minerals into organic matter. If the surface world belongs to the sun, these vents belong to the Earth itself. Here, life draws sustenance from the planet's inner fire, standing as quiet proof of resilience within the kingdom of eternal night. The contrast of two worlds. Dear night travelers, to compare the surface world with the deep sea is to compare change with eternity. On land, where humanity dwells, everything is in motion. Winds shift, seasons turn, light races across the sky. Life must constantly adapt to heat and cold, abundance and drought. The deep sea, by contrast, is a realm of profound stillness. At depths of thousands of meters, time leaves almost no trace. Crushing pressure and unbroken darkness form a cocoon, preserving the planet's most ancient secrets. While humans strive endlessly to reshape the world above, the deep ocean remains silent and unwavering, a sealed stone page of Earth's history, resting beneath billions of tons of water. The harsh environment of the deep sea reminds us that life does not belong solely to places of light. It also flourishes in darkness, under pressure, in conditions that seem utterly unforgiving. You are safe now, night travelers, held in this gentle stillness where the worries of the surface cannot reach. Our planet is a vast and ancient symphony, and tonight you are listening to its deepest, most resonant notes. Adjust your pillow. Draw the blanket softly to your chest. Let your shoulders loosen and feel warmth spreading slowly through your body. Breathe in and release it gently, like the steady pulse of an ancient earth. We have traced the origins of the blue soul and descended through its shimmering layers. Now, let your thoughts drift further still into the planet's deepest fissures, where the ocean conceals its final mysteries. Welcome to the story, the most mysterious lands beneath the ocean. The Hadal Layer, the kingdom of the underworld god. Dear night travelers, as we descend beyond 6,000 meters, we enter a realm known as the Hadal Pelagic Layer. Its name is drawn from Hades, the god of the underworld in Greek mythology, a fitting tribute to this world of trenches and vast wounds carved by the collision of tectonic plates. Imagine drifting through a darkness so dense it feels almost solid. Here, time loses its meaning. There is no sunlight, no seasonal change, only enduring cold between -1 and 3 degrees Celsius. The deep sea covers more than 66% of the planet's surface, making it the largest and least explored environment known to humanity. These trenches are not empty voids. They are archives of Earth's earliest history, sealed beneath unimaginable pressure and silence, guarding secrets that have waited billions of years to be remembered. The Mariana Trench, an inverted Everest. Night travelers, among all the hidden realms of our planet, none is more enigmatic than the Mariana Trench. Lying in the western Pacific Ocean, this immense chasm stretches like a colossal scar across the seafloor, winding for thousands of kilometers. At its deepest point, Challenger Deep, the depth reaches between approximately 10,911 and 11,034 meters. To grasp its magnitude, imagine lifting Mount Everest from the Himalayas and placing it upside down into Challenger Deep. Even then, the world's tallest mountain would remain more than 2 kilometers beneath the ocean's surface. The pressure at this depth becomes an invisible giant, exceeding 1,000 atmospheres, comparable to the weight of a jet aircraft pressing down upon a single thumb. And yet, night travelers, life has endured even in these seemingly infernal depths. Scientists have discovered the Mariana Hadal snailfish living beyond 8,000 meters below the surface. Their survival depends on remarkable genetic adaptations, including the deactivation of the osteocalcin gene, which prevents their skulls from fully closing. This allows their bodies to withstand crushing pressure without collapse. Fragile in appearance yet profoundly resilient, these creatures remind us that life does not retreat in the face of darkness. The tectonic machine, where the seabed is swallowed, night travelers, take a slow breath and turn your thoughts inward toward the deep mechanics of our planet. Why do such trenches exist at all? The answer lies in a silent yet relentless geological process known as subduction. Earth's outer shell, the lithosphere, is divided into massive tectonic plates. Where these plates converge, the denser oceanic plate is forced beneath another, descending into the molten mantle below. At these immense collision zones, the deepest trenches on Earth are formed. This process unfolds through sudden movements, releasing powerful earthquakes and driving magma upward to create chains of volcanic islands along the edge of the abyss. Each trench tells its own story. The Puerto Rico Trench, the deepest point in the Atlantic Ocean, reaching 8,375 meters, first visited by Victor Vescovo's submersible limiting factor in 2018. The Java Trench, also known as the Sunda Trench, the deepest abyss of the Indian Ocean. The South Sandwich Trench, plunging into the icy depths of the Southern Ocean. Malloy Deep, a little-known fracture hidden beneath the frozen Arctic seas. Thermal oases, the breath of the Earth. Night travelers, the deep sea is not defined by cold alone. Within that eternal darkness, nature has ignited extraordinary beacons, hydrothermal vents. Here, seawater seeps into cracks in Earth's crust, descends toward magma, and returns superheated, sometimes reaching 400 degrees Celsius through towering black chimneys. The immense pressure of the deep prevents this water from boiling, creating environments where extreme heat and freezing cold coexist within mere meters. These rare ecosystems require no sunlight. Instead of photosynthesis, life here relies on chemosynthesis, as bacteria draw energy from minerals such as sulfur to create organic matter. Around these vents flourish strange communities, Riftia tube worms, lacking mouths and stomachs, live in symbiosis with bacteria. Blind shrimp swarm through mineral-rich waters. Many scientists believe that life on Earth may have first emerged in these fiery depths nearly 4 billion years ago. First steps into the abyss. Dear night travelers, humanity has always been drawn toward the unknown. Our exploration of the deep sea began in earnest during the 19th century with the voyage of the HMS Challenger from 1872 to 1876. That expedition revealed vast abyssal plains and identified more than 4,700 new species. In 1960, Jacques Picard and Donald Walsh descended to the bottom of Challenger Deep aboard the Trieste. Though they remained there for only 20 minutes, those moments reshaped humanity's understanding of the ocean. In 2012, filmmaker James Cameron made a solo descent in the deep-sea Challenger, capturing images of a world as silent and majestic as the surface of a distant planet. More recently, Victor Vescovo completed the 5 Deeps expedition, reaching the deepest points of all 5 oceans and affirming that even the darkest places cannot halt human curiosity. Your breathing is now slow, deep, and steady. The story of the ocean's deepest trenches reminds us that even under the greatest pressure and the densest darkness, life endures, and Earth continues to whisper stories of eternity. You are safe beneath the watchful gaze of billions of years, held gently by a planet that has long prepared for your presence. Listen to the rain outside. Let its rhythm guide you toward stillness. We have traveled together through the ocean's origins and its profound depths. Now, as the night deepens, we stand before a vast and invisible barrier, not built of stone, but of nature's most uncompromising laws. Together, we ask a final question. Why can humanity reach distant stars, yet remain so unfamiliar with the world beneath our feet? Welcome to the story. The physical wall, why we still do not know much. The paradox between stars and the abyss. Dear night travelers, close your eyes and consider this quiet paradox. We possess detailed maps of the moon and even Mars, worlds millions of kilometers away. Yet on our own planet lies a realm covering more than 66% of Earth's surface that remains largely unknown. The saying that we know more about the moon than the ocean floor may be exaggerated, but it reflects a sobering truth. As of 2024, only just over 26% of the seafloor has been mapped in high resolution. The deep sea remains Earth's least explored biome, guarded by extreme conditions that resist intrusion. Why is this so? Why have so few people reached Challenger Deep, while dozens have traveled into space? The answer lies in a formidable physical wall, one that nature has raised to shield its secrets. The invisible giant, terrifying pressure. Night travelers, feel the lightness of the air around you. On land, 1 atmosphere of pressure passes unnoticed. But as you descend beneath the sea, the ocean begins to tighten its grip. With every 10 meters of depth, pressure increases by 1 atmosphere. At 6,000 meters, pressure rises 600-fold. In the Mariana Trench, it exceeds 1,000 atmospheres, the crushing equivalent of a jet aircraft pressing down on a single thumb. This wall of pressure does more than compress matter. It alters the chemistry of life itself. Proteins and cell membranes must evolve extraordinary resilience to avoid deformation. For human technology, even the smallest flaw can allow pressure to reduce steel to fragments in an instant. stolen vision, when light fades. Night travelers draw a slow breath and imagine sinking into absolute darkness. If telescopes can peer across billions of light years in space, beneath the ocean light is swiftly defeated. Red wavelengths vanish within the first 50 meters. At 200 meters, only 1% of surface light remains. Beyond 1,000 meters, in the bathypelagic zone, darkness becomes complete. There is no sun, no photosynthesis, no visual guidance, only the cold glow of bioluminescence produced by life itself. This darkness poses a final barrier to exploration. Radio waves and GPS signals cannot penetrate water. To sense the seafloor, we rely on sound, sonar, whose echoes offer only rough outlines. Exploring the deep sea becomes like imagining a forest by listening to distant echoes in the dark. And so, night travelers, the abyss remains, vast, silent, and patient, waiting for us to listen more closely. Those were the first steps of human intellect venturing into the darkness. The battle between theory and truth. Night travelers, relax, and listen to a debate that once shook the scientific world of the 19th century. In 1843, naturalist Edward Forbes put forward the abyssus theory, a zoic theory, asserting that no life could exist in waters deeper than 550 meters due to pressure and darkness. The deep sea was then considered a deadly desert, but the deep sea always knows how to protect its secrets until it meets dedicated seekers. In 1850, Michael Sars discovered a rich fauna at a depth of 800 meters near Lofoten, dealing a major blow to Forbes's theory. And the culmination came in 1864, when Michael and his son, Georg Ossian Sars, obtained a specimen of a species of Amaryllis with a stem at a depth of 3,109 meters. The door to the world of life in the shadows had officially opened. The Challenger expedition, an epic of oceanography. Night travelers, take a deep breath and join me on board HMS Challenger on its historic voyage from 1872 to 1876. This was humanity's first systematic oceanographic survey. This screw corvette traveled 127,653 kilometers, taking hundreds of measurements and collecting specimens from across the oceans. The scientists on board used rudimentary Bailey measuring instruments to collect mud samples from the seabed. The results were astonishing. They discovered more than 4,700 new species and provided humanity with its first true glimpse into the deep ocean basins. They proved that the deep sea is not a desert, but an incredibly diverse and specialized kingdom. The steel sphere and the pioneers. Now, night travelers, imagine yourselves sitting inside the bathysphere, a pressure-bearing steel sphere suspended by cables in 1930. William Beebe and Otis Barton were the first to risk their lives to look directly into the deep sea through tiny windows. At a depth of 923 meters in 1934, they saw creatures glowing brilliantly like stars falling into the ocean. It was a terrifying yet mesmerizing experience, for if the cable had broken, they would have been lost forever in the abyss. But their courage paved the way for generations of autonomous submersibles that followed. Trieste and the moment of reaching the edge of the earth. Night travelers, feel the eternal silence. When we recall January 23, 1960, Jacques Picard and Don Walsh piloted the Trieste submersible to the deepest point in the world, Challenger Deep in the Mariana Trench. In the pitch-black darkness at a depth of 10,911 meters, they only stayed for 20 minutes, but those 20 minutes completely changed history. The external pressure reached over 1,000 atmospheres, enough to crush anything, but humans stood firm there. It is a testament to the power of human will and technology, the age of silicon messengers. Night travelers, as technology advances, we no longer rely solely on individual courage. In the 1950s, the first benthigraph captured precious images from the depths, before becoming stuck between rock walls. Later, remotely operated vehicles, ROVs, like Kaiko and Nereus, continued the mission, reaching depths of over 10,900 meters to collect samples and film. Notably, the Argo made history in 1985 when it found the wreck of the legendary Titanic at the bottom of the deep sea. Today, scientists use modern equipment such as magnetometers to detect metals and recover artifacts from unimaginable depths. We are gradually learning to explore the deep sea through computer screens instead of just through the small window of a submersible. Achievements that changed human thinking. Dear night travelers, exploration efforts not only bring back numbers, but also shocking truths. In 1974, the Alvin submersible and its collaborators discovered the Great Rift Valley at the Mid-Atlantic Ridge. They found vivid evidence of seafloor spreading, reinforcing the theory of plate tectonics. And in 1979 to 1980, in the Galapagos Trench, hydrothermal vents were discovered. There, black chimneys spewed out streams of hot water, reaching temperatures of up to 400 degrees Celsius and filled with minerals. This discovery overturned the preconceived notion that all life requires sunlight, revealing a world that exists through chemical synthesis. These vents are not only a source of mineral resources, but could also be the origin of life on our planet. Modern footsteps in a new era. Finally, night travelers, allow yourselves a quiet smile as we reflect on the efforts of modern explorers. In 2012, filmmaker James Cameron descended alone to the very bottom of the Mariana Trench aboard the Deep Sea Challenger, returning with the first high-resolution images ever captured from the deepest reaches of our planet. More recently, between 2018 and 2019, Victor Vescovo and the submersible Limiting Factor completed the historic 5 Deeps mission, reaching the deepest points of all 5 oceans. In 2020, Catherine Sullivan and Vanessa O'Brien added their names to history as the first women to reach Challenger Deep. Each descent, fragile beneath thousands of tons of pressure, became a quiet note in humanity's long symphony of courage and curiosity. Your breathing now slows, deep, calm, and steady. The story of these modern footsteps reminds us that no abyss is too deep for the human spirit. For centuries, we have shaped resilient vessels of titanium and steel, carrying light into places where the sun has never shone. You are safe beneath the watchful gaze of history, resting in the gentle embrace of the tranquil deep. Listen to the rain and let it guide you toward peace. I invite you now to adjust your pillow, draw the blanket closer, and allow the sound of rain to soften your thoughts. Take a deep breath and release it slowly, like the steady pulse of the ancient earth. Tonight, we do not look upward toward distant stars or downward at fossils beneath our feet. Instead, we journey inward, descending through shimmering waters toward a realm of eternal silence where time itself seems to pause. Welcome to the story, The Threshold of Another World. When light refuses to reach. Dear night travelers, close your eyes and imagine floating upon the deep blue surface of the ocean, which blankets more than 70.8% of our planet. As you begin to descend, the sea reveals a story written in layers of light and shadow. The first realm, the epipelagic zone, is where sunlight still performs its miracle of photosynthesis. Yet light is limited by unyielding physical laws. Red wavelengths vanish within the first 50 meters, while blue light, stronger and more persistent, reaches only to about 200 meters. At this depth, we cross the true threshold of the deep sea. Here, sunlight fades to merely 1% of its surface strength. The waters between 200 and 1,000 meters form the mesopelagic zone, where light is too weak for plants or phytoplankton to survive. Beyond 1,000 meters, in the bathypelagic zone, darkness becomes complete. There is no dawn, no dusk, only eternal night. This vast realm, covering more than 66% of Earth's surface, renders human vision utterly powerless. The invisible giant, terrifying pressure. Night travelers, let us now speak softly of the most formidable force in this kingdom: pressure. On land, we live beneath one atmosphere of pressure, hardly aware of its presence. But beneath the waves, pressure becomes relentless, increasing by 1 atmosphere for every 10 meters of descent. In the deepest trenches, such as the Mariana Trench, plunging beyond 10,900 meters, pressure surpasses 1,000 atmospheres. It is as if a jet aircraft were pressing down upon a single thumb. This immense physical wall can crush most human-made structures unless they are reinforced with extraordinary materials like titanium. Life here survives only through profound cellular adaptations, where proteins and membranes are reshaped to endure forces that would otherwise destroy them. The primordial cold. Now, night travelers, sense a quiet chill drifting through your thoughts. On land, temperature dances with the seasons, but in the deep sea, change is absent. Below the thermocline, the boundary where surface warmth gives way to depth, the ocean settles into a remarkable stillness. Temperatures hover steadily between -1 and 3 degrees Celsius. This is the most stable environment on Earth, where cold has endured almost unchanged since the planet's earliest days. These frigid waters originate in the polar regions, where dense, cold surface waters sink and slowly drift along the ocean floor toward the equator. When you touch deep sea water, you are touching currents that carry the memory of centuries. Salinity remains constant at around 35 parts per thousand, reinforcing an environment where time itself seems suspended. The food desert and the fall of marine snow. Night travelers, imagine a snowfall beneath a sky that holds no stars. Deprived of sunlight, the deep sea becomes a vast nutritional desert, unable to produce energy through plants. Life here depends on what descends from the illuminated world above, a phenomenon scientists call marine snow. These tiny particles of organic matter, dead organisms, phytoplankton, and biological waste drift downward at a pace of roughly 100 meters per day. For a single particle to reach the seabed, 4,000 meters below, more than a month must pass. Only 1 to 3% of surface energy reaches the abyssal floor. In this silent darkness, every falling fragment becomes precious, and survival is shaped by patience, efficiency, and restraint. Furnaces in the frozen abyss. Yet, night travelers, the deep sea is not solely a realm of cold and scarcity. Scattered across its frozen plains are brilliant exceptions: hydrothermal vents. Here, seawater penetrates cracks in Earth's crust, heats near molten rock, and erupts through towering black chimneys at temperatures reaching 400 degrees Celsius. Enormous pressure prevents the water from boiling, creating a surreal landscape where searing heat and icy cold exist mere meters apart. These rare ecosystems thrive without sunlight. Instead, bacteria convert chemical energy into life through chemosynthesis. From the very breath of the planet, life emerges, resilient, persistent, and luminous amid eternal darkness. Night travelers, your breathing is now slow, deep, and calm. The story of this threshold teaches us that even under crushing pressure and absolute darkness, Earth quietly safeguards the secrets of eternity. You are safe in the embrace of stillness, where the worries of the surface world cannot follow. Take one final breath and release it gently, like the timeless rhythm of the ancient ocean. We now stand at the gateway to another realm, where sunlight yields to astonishing depth. Ahead await creatures shaped by extremes, beings that have transformed harshness into elegance and survival into art. Welcome to the story, the flora and fauna system, a symphony in the darkness. A stage without sunlight. Dear night travelers, imagine hovering just below 200 meters. Here, the deep sea truly begins, and the familiar rules of the surface no longer apply. In the ecosystems you know, Plants and phytoplankton serve as the great composers, using sunlight to generate life's energy. But in this realm, light cannot reach, except faintly in the uppermost mesopelagic layers. A striking truth emerges. The deep sea contains no plants. There is no green chlorophyll, no leaves reaching toward the sun. Traditional primary producers vanish entirely. And yet, the symphony of life continues. So how does it endure? The answer, night travelers, lies with unexpected visitors and extraordinary sources of energy, stories waiting patiently in the darkness to be told. Deep sea snow, a source of life from a lost paradise. Night travelers, take a deep breath and picture an endless snowfall beneath a sky without stars. In this realm, where no plants can grow and no sunlight can nourish life, the deep sea survives almost entirely on what descends from the bright world far above. Scientists call this phenomenon marine snow. It is a gentle rain of organic debris, fragments of microscopic life, the remains of phytoplankton and biological waste, drifting downward in slow motion. These particles fall at a pace of only about 100 meters per day. Imagine this. For a single snowflake to reach the bottom of a 4,000-meter abyss, it must travel for more than a month through layers of icy darkness. Only 1 to 3% of the energy produced at the surface ever reaches the deep seabed. The abyss is a silent food desert, where its inhabitants must wait patiently for each fragile gift falling from the heavenly light above. And yet, from time to time, this kingdom receives an extraordinary blessing: a whale fall. When a giant of the surface world sinks, its body becomes a thriving oasis, sustaining thousands of creatures for decades in an otherwise barren land. Clairvoyant eyes and magical light. Night travelers, gaze into the darkness and ask yourselves, how does life perceive its surroundings when the sun is gone? In response to extreme scarcity of light, deep-sea creatures have evolved eyes unlike anything we know. Many species possess enormous or tubular eyes composed entirely of rod cells, designed to capture the faintest traces of light. These eyes often face upward, searching for the ghostly silhouettes of prey drifting above. Yet the true miracle of this dark symphony is bioluminescence. In absolute night, countless creatures have become living lanterns. Through specialized organs called photophores, they produce their own light, not only to communicate or attract mates, but also to vanish. This remarkable strategy, known as counter-illumination, allows them to emit light that matches the dim glow from above, erasing their shadow and rendering them invisible to predators below. Some species, such as the flashlight fish, possess reflective layers behind their retinas, working together with bioluminescent organs to detect the faint reflections from the eyes of other creatures. An eerie exchange of silent glances in the ocean's eternal night. Masterpieces of adaptation under thousands of tons of pressure. Night travelers, let your thoughts settle as we contemplate the crushing weight of this realm. For every 10 meters of descent, pressure increases by 1 atmosphere. In the deepest trenches, such as the Mariana Trench, it exceeds 1,000 atmospheres, the equivalent of a jet aircraft pressing down upon a single thumb. To endure such forces, abyssal life has abandoned rigid forms. Instead of air-filled swim bladders, many species possess soft, gelatinous bodies of exceptionally low density. Deep-sea squids rely on reservoirs of ammonium chloride, a metabolic byproduct lighter than seawater, to maintain buoyancy under immense pressure. Most remarkable of all is the Mariana Hadal snailfish, found at depths beyond 8,000 meters. A mutation in its osteocalcin gene prevents its skull from fully closing, leaving its skeleton largely cartilaginous. A rigid, sealed skull would shatter instantly in this environment. Even the proteins within its cells, such as alpha-actin, have altered their chemical structure to function reliably under extreme compression. These creatures are living proof that survival here is not about strength, but about surrendering to pressure and reshaping oneself accordingly. Opportunistic predators and the logic of survival. Night travelers. In a world where food is scarce, nothing can be wasted. Most midwater fish are small, often no longer than 25 centimeters, to conserve energy. Their metabolism is slow, their movements deliberate. Rather than active pursuit, they adopt a patient, watchful existence. When opportunity arises, they strike decisively. Expandable jaws and inward-facing teeth allow them to swallow prey larger than themselves. In this vast darkness, where encounters are rare, reproduction is equally challenging. Many deep-sea species have therefore evolved hermaphroditism, ensuring that any meeting between two individuals of the same species can become the continuation of life. Hydrothermal oases, where life needs no sun. Yet, night travelers, the deep sea is not sustained by falling debris alone. In the heart of this frozen desert, Earth has kindled extraordinary furnaces, hydrothermal vents. From deep within the crust, mineral-rich water erupts through towering black chimneys at temperatures reaching 400 degrees Celsius. These are among the few ecosystems on Earth completely independent of sunlight. Here, life thrives through chemosynthesis, as bacteria convert chemical energy from sulfur and minerals into organic matter. Around these vents flourish some of the planet's strangest communities. Consider the giant Riftia tube worm, mouthless, stomachless, entirely dependent on symbiotic bacteria living within its body. These vibrant colonies rise like cities from the darkness, living monuments to resilience born from the planet's fiery breath. The meaning of the symphony, a key to our origins. Dear night travelers, the study of these strange forms of life is not mere curiosity about creatures that seem alien. Many scientists believe that hydrothermal vents were the cradle of life itself, where the first cells emerged more than 4 billion years ago. Deep-sea microorganisms carry genetic adaptations that may transform modern medicine, offering enzymes resistant to heat and pressure for future antibiotics. The abyss is also Earth's diary. Sediments accumulate here at a pace of just 1 centimeter every 1,000 years, preserving records of ice ages and ancient climate shifts spanning millions of years. This quiet symphony in the darkness plays on without pause, reminding us that even under the greatest stress and deepest shadows, life finds its own dignified path. Your breathing is now slow, deep, steady. The story of the deep-sea animal kingdom reminds us how vast and wondrous this world truly is. You are safe in the gentle embrace of stillness, where the burdens of the surface cannot reach. Everything unfolds in calm and perfect order. Do not worry about the trenches within your soul or the uncertainties ahead. Tonight, simply rest, held by the rhythm of the deep ocean and the soft rain beyond your window. Night travelers, we have stood together at the threshold where sunlight finally surrenders to depth. But our journey does not end here. Together, we will descend further, into absolute darkness, toward creatures so strange they seem born of another world. Welcome to the story, The Aliens in the Heart of the Ocean. The migration into absolute darkness. Night travelers, as we pass beyond the 200-meter mark, sunlight fades, and the deep sea truly begins. Warmth and color vanish, replaced by cold, pressure, and unbroken night. Yet life does not disappear. It transforms. Without light, photosynthesis ceases, and plants vanish entirely. The inhabitants of this realm survive on marine snow, fragments of organic matter drifting downward at roughly 100 meters per day. Imagine waiting weeks, even months, for nourishment to arrive from a distant, sunlit paradise. It is this scarcity that has sculpted their extraordinary forms, turning survival itself into a masterwork of adaptation, shaped patiently by the darkness. The eyes of sight and illusions of light. Night travelers, take a deep breath and look gently into the eyes of these so-called aliens. In a world where light is almost entirely absent, vision becomes a rare and precious privilege. Many deep-sea fish have evolved enormous tubular eyes composed solely of rod cells, exquisitely sensitive to even the faintest remaining photons. These eyes do not look forward, as ours do, but are often tilted upward, patiently searching for the dim silhouettes of prey drifting above in the last traces of surface light. Yet, in this silent arms race of perception, prey has learned its own subtle art. Some species practice counter-illumination, using light-emitting organs called photophores along their undersides. By producing bioluminescence that closely matches the weak glow filtering down from above, they erase their own shadows, becoming almost invisible to predators watching from below. Some fish take this even further. They possess a reflective layer behind the retina, a biological mirror that allows them to detect the faint shimmer reflected from the eyes of other creatures. In the ocean's endless night, sight becomes a quiet dialogue of light answering light. Endless hunting machines. Night travelers remain calm as we speak of hunger in the deep sea, a hunger that allows no mistakes. Here, where food is scarce, prey cannot be allowed to escape. Most midwater fish are small, often no longer than 25 centimeters, conserving energy with slow metabolisms and restrained movement. Yet their forms are anything but gentle. Expandable jaws, flexible hinges, and sharp inward curving teeth allow these creatures to swallow prey larger than themselves. They do not chase. They wait, motionless, patient, until a single opportunity passes close enough for a decisive strike. And in the deepest shadows, life finds an entirely different source of energy. Around hydrothermal vents, where mineral-rich water erupts from the Earth's crust at temperatures reaching 400 degrees Celsius, sunlight is irrelevant. Here lives the Riftia worm, a creature without mouth or stomach. Its survival depends entirely on a symbiotic partnership with chemosynthetic bacteria within its body, organisms capable of transforming minerals from the planet's interior into life-sustaining energy. The secret of the body, under thousands of tons of pressure. Dear night travelers, imagine the crushing force at the planet's deepest trenches. With every 10 meters of descent, pressure increases by 1 atmosphere. Beyond 10,000 meters in the Mariana Trench, it surpasses 1,000 atmospheres, enough to destroy even the strongest human-made steel. How, then, do these delicate creatures endure such an unimaginable burden? Bone and skull structure. The Mariana Hadal snailfish, living deeper than 8,000 meters, represents a remarkable genetic solution. A mutation in the osteocalcin gene, responsible for bone mineralization, prevents its skull from ever fully closing. Its skeleton remains largely cartilaginous, flexible rather than rigid, allowing the body to yield instead of fracture beneath constant pressure. Protein transformation. At the cellular level, even proteins must adapt. Molecules such as alpha-actin, essential for muscle movement, develop additional salt bridges, tiny chemical bonds that reinforce their structure and prevent deformation under compression. Resisting denaturation. These fish also accumulate protective compounds known as osmolytes, particularly trimethylamine N-oxide, or TMAO. This substance stabilizes proteins under extreme pressure, preserving their function where ordinary biochemistry would fail. It is a quiet but vital adjustment for survival in the abyss. The silence and scavengers of the abyss. Night travelers, listen to the gentle rain beyond your window. In the abyss, an ending on the surface often becomes a beginning below. From time to time, the deep sea receives vast and rare gifts. Whale falls. When a giant of the ocean dies, its body sinks into the darkness, transforming into a thriving ecosystem that can sustain thousands of scavengers for decades. In this eternal night, species such as the abyssal grenadier, Coryphaenoides armatus, glide silently, searching for nourishment among these remnants. Because life is so sparsely distributed, encounters are rare. To ensure survival, many deep-sea creatures have evolved hermaphroditism. Any meeting between two individuals of the same species may become the continuation of life itself, a quiet triumph in the darkness. Night travelers, your breathing is now slow, deep, steady. The story of these beings from the depths reminds us that life is relentless. Under crushing pressure, numbing cold, and eternal night, it adapts, persists, and writes its own epic. Let images of upward-gazing eyes, shimmering bioluminescent trails, and fragile bodies shaped by patience and time carry you gently toward sleep. You are safe beneath the watchful gaze of billions of years of history, held in the calm embrace of a blue planet rich with unseen wonders. Everything is unfolding in a quiet and perfect order. Release the pressures of life, the shadows of tomorrow. Tonight, simply rest, floating in the eternal stillness of the deep sea. Let the soft rain soothe your soul. Close your eyes and drift into peaceful sleep beneath a vast, starless ocean. We have journeyed from the origins of the blue soul and now stand at the threshold of the planet's darkest kingdom. Tonight, as rain murmurs softly beyond the glass, we will descend further into flesh, cells, and genetic codes to discover how life does not merely exist here, but becomes a masterpiece of adaptation. Welcome to the story, Masterpieces of Adaptation in the Heart of the Ocean. The Pressure Pact, the secret of the soft skeleton. Dear night travelers, close your eyes and feel the presence of an invisible giant pressing down at depths beyond 10,000 meters. Pressure so immense it rivals the weight of a jet aircraft on a single thumb. Where steel collapses, life chooses another path. The Mariana Hadal snailfish offers a profound lesson. Genomic studies reveal that it has effectively deactivated the osteocalcin gene, halting the formation of rigid bone. Its skull never fully seals. Its skeleton remains supple, cartilaginous. Instead of resisting pressure with hardness, it yields, flowing with it, becoming almost liquid in form. In the eternal darkness, flexibility proves to be the greatest strength. Salt bridges and the quiet strength of proteins. Night travelers, let your breathing become as smooth as a deep current. At the molecular level, pressure threatens the very foundation of life, proteins themselves. Under extreme compression, proteins can twist, unfold, and lose their function. Yet deep-sea species such as Coryphaenoides armatus reveal an elegant solution. Their alpha-actin proteins contain an increased number of salt bridges, microscopic bonds that act like rivets, holding the structure together. These bonds stabilize energy transfer and ensure muscle fibers continue to function under the weight of billions of tons of water. It is a form of natural bioengineering of astonishing precision, where every cell becomes a quiet fortress against the chaos of the abyss. The alchemists of the deep sea, osmolytes that guard life. Night travelers, take a deep breath and journey with me into the quiet chemistry of survival. Hidden within the bodies of deep-sea inhabitants lies a remarkable internal elixir, one that allows life to endure where pressure threatens to unravel every molecule. For cartilaginous fish of the abyss, immense pressure can disrupt delicate chemical reactions. To resist this invisible force, their bodies accumulate high concentrations of protective compounds known as osmolytes, most notably trimethylamine N-oxide, or TMAO. As depth increases, so does the concentration of TMAO. This substance acts as a vigilant guardian, stabilizing proteins and preventing hydrostatic pressure from distorting their structure. TMAO replaces urea and other compounds to maintain a balanced and resilient internal environment. When you observe a seemingly fragile creature drifting through the darkness, remember that within it exists a precisely tuned network of chemical reactions, a silent molecular symphony that never loses its rhythm. even beneath thousands of tons of water. Stealth armor, the art of reflection and living light. Now, night travelers, gaze into the dense twilight of the mesopelagic layer. Here, danger often rises from below, where predators scan upward for faint silhouettes outlined against the weak glow filtering down from the surface. To vanish within this dim world, many fish have perfected an extraordinary form of camouflage known as counter-illumination. Along their undersides, luminous organs called photophores emit bioluminescent light. By carefully adjusting its intensity to match the light descending from above, these fish erase their own shadows entirely. To a predator looking upward, there is nothing to see, only a uniform blue, uninterrupted and empty. This is armor made not of metal, but of light itself. To further refine this invisibility, many midwater fish have bodies flattened horizontally, minimizing their profile and reducing any trace of shadow. Every contour is shaped for disappearance. The eyes of the soul. Harvesting. Every photon. Night travelers. Feel the stillness deepen and look into the unusually large eyes of deep-sea dwellers. In a realm where light is scarce beyond measure, vision becomes an act of reverence. Many deep-sea fish possess tubular eyes rather than rounded ones, built exclusively from rod cells, the most light-sensitive receptors known. These eyes function like biological telescopes, capturing even the faintest photons wandering through the dark. Some species, such as the flashlight fish, take this even further. Behind their retinas lies a reflective layer, a kind of natural mirror known as the tapetum lucidum. It reflects light back through the photoreceptors, doubling the chance that a signal will reach the brain. For these creatures, darkness is not emptiness. It is a subtle landscape, alive with movement, shimmer, and the quiet glow of bioluminescence. Slow survival machines, the discipline of hunger. Night travelers, in a world where food drifts downward like fragile snowflakes, waste is a fatal mistake. The deep sea has shaped its inhabitants into masters of efficiency. Their metabolism is remarkably slow. Rather than expending precious energy in pursuit, many species adopt a strategy of patience, hovering almost motionless with delicate, lightly muscled bodies. Yet when opportunity arises, they strike with astonishing precision. Expandable jaws, flexible hinges, and sharp, inward-curving teeth allow them to swallow prey larger than themselves in a single motion. Buoyancy, too, is achieved without waste. Instead of gas-filled swim bladders, many species rely on low-density, gel-like tissues or fill their bodies with ammonium chloride, a metabolic byproduct lighter than seawater. Every biological detail serves one purpose: to survive longer while spending as little energy as possible. Night travelers, the story of these adaptive wonders reminds us that life is an unstoppable force. Whether through softened skulls shaped by altered genes, proteins reinforced by chemical bonds, or bodies designed for perfect efficiency, each deep-sea creature stands as a testament to nature's quiet brilliance. We often imagine the abyss as hostile and cruel, yet for its inhabitants, it is the most stable home on Earth, a world without seasons, without storms, governed only by darkness and stillness. Life here is not fragile. It is profoundly durable, carrying within it the signature of eternity, written in resilient molecules beneath unimaginable pressure. We have drifted through shimmering waters and encountered beings that seem born of another world. Tonight, our journey continues, downward into the fractures of the Earth itself, where fire and stone reshape the planet in silence. Welcome to the story, Deep Sea Geology, the Earth's Diary, a symphony of rock and fire. Dear night travelers, close your eyes and imagine floating above a silent landscape, untouched by birdsong or wind. Beneath the ocean floor, covering 70.8% of our planet, lies a geological realm more dramatic than any mountain range on land. This is no featureless plain. It is a vast terrain of towering ridges, bottomless trenches, and slowly widening fissures. Deep-sea geology is a living diary, recording the birth and transformation of Earth over billions of years. On land, rock is eroded by wind and rain. Here, in the depths, layers of sediment and basalt are preserved like sealed pages in an ancient book. Every stratum tells a story of colliding plates, rising magma, and the patient endurance of time. The longest mountain range on Earth. Night travelers, take a deep breath and soar with me above the mid-ocean ridge system. The longest mountain range on Earth does not rise above the clouds. It lies hidden beneath the sea. Stretching more than 65,000 kilometers, this immense chain of underwater volcanoes winds through every ocean basin, curving like a scar around the globe. Here, molten material from the Earth's mantle rises through the seabed, cools, and solidifies into new oceanic crust. This is where the planet quietly renews itself. In 1974, the Alvin submersible revealed this process firsthand while exploring the Great Rift Valley of the Mid-Atlantic Ridge. The dark basalt flanking the rift marked the youngest rock on the seafloor, a clear sign that Earth is still alive, still reshaping itself in silence. The cruel scars, trenches, and subduction. Night travelers remain calm as we approach the ocean's most severe landscapes, the trenches. If mid-ocean ridges are places of birth, trenches are where the planet consumes its own past. Here, dense oceanic plates slide beneath lighter plates in a process known as subduction. At these converging boundaries, the deepest trenches on Earth are formed. The Mariana Trench is the most famous, plunging beyond 10,900 meters. Even if Mount Everest were placed there, its summit would still lie more than 2 kilometers beneath the ocean's surface. The grinding friction of these plates triggers powerful earthquakes and forces magma upward, forming arcs of volcanic islands beside the abyss. These trenches are not empty voids. They are records of destruction and renewal, chapters in the ongoing story of the Earth's restless crust. Night travelers, let the quiet power of stone and fire linger in your thoughts as the rain outside continues its gentle rhythm. The furnaces in the frozen desert. Night travelers, imagine a radiant oasis of heat glowing quietly within eternal darkness. Hydrothermal vents. First discovered between 1979 and 1980 in the Galapagos Trench, these towering black chimneys remain among humanity's greatest geological and biological revelations. Here, seawater slowly seeps into deep fissures in the Earth's crust, where it is heated by magma to temperatures approaching 400 degrees Celsius before surging back into the ocean. The immense pressure of the deep sea prevents this water from boiling, transforming it into a superheated, mineral-rich fluid. When it meets the surrounding icy seawater, minerals such as copper, zinc, and sulfur precipitate, building tall, dark columns that rise like silent cathedrals from the seabed. These vents are not merely reservoirs of mineral wealth. Many scientists believe they are the very cradle of life on Earth, where the first living systems emerged nearly 4 billion years ago. Here, chemical energy fully replaces sunlight, offering powerful testimony to the resilience and creativity of our blue planet. The Mud of Time. A diary, written in silence. Night travelers, take a deep breath and feel the profound stillness of the abyssal plains. These vast regions are the flattest and most isolated landscapes on Earth, blanketed by sediments laid down over millions of years. This fine mud is a quiet mixture of cosmic dust, minerals carried from distant continents, and marine snow, the remains of countless plankton drifting down from sunlit waters above. The ocean is patient beyond measure. These sediments accumulate at a pace of only 1 centimeter every 1,000 years. When scientists extract a few meters of this mud, they are gently turning pages written hundreds of thousands of years ago. By studying these sediment cores, researchers uncover ancient fossils and chemical traces that reveal Earth's climate history, cycles of deep ice ages and periods of intense warmth. Within this silent archive lies our best guide to understanding the planet's future, drawn from what the ocean has faithfully recorded in darkness. Eternity beneath the waves. Dear night travelers, when we reflect on deep-sea geology, we are, in truth, contemplating eternity itself. While the surface world is restless and ever-changing, the deep sea is where time seems to slow to a near standstill. Unbroken pressure and absolute darkness form a protective cocoon around the planet's oldest secrets. Underwater mountain ranges continue to rise without sound. Trenches quietly consume ancient crust. Layer upon layer of sediment records each slow breath of the Earth. The deep sea remains there, cold, enduring, and patient, like a monumental stone chapter sealed beneath billions of tons of water, waiting for curious minds to read it. We now turn the final chapter of our journey into the heart of Mother Earth, a chapter that speaks not only of darkness, but of wisdom illuminated by understanding. Together, we will discover why exploring the deepest depths is also a search for our own origins, and why humanity's future depends on the knowledge hidden beneath the ocean floor. Welcome to the story. The meaning of science, finding the source of life. The ancient diary of the planet. Dear night travelers, close your eyes and imagine an eternal library hidden within the abyss. The deep sea is more than a place. It is a time machine preserving the planet's earliest memories. Beneath the abyssal plains, sediment gathers with extraordinary patience. Again, only about 1 centimeter every 1,000 years. This fine archive of cosmic dust, minerals, and marine snow preserves the remnants of countless surface lives. When scientists retrieve these layers using gravity cores, they are opening volumes written millions of years ago. Through these records, we trace the rhythms of Earth's climate, from frozen epochs to periods of intense heat. This knowledge is essential as we face modern climate change, reminding us that today's transformations are rooted in a far older story. Luca, the last common ancestor in the depths. Night travelers, let your breath flow gently, and consider the blueprint of life itself. One of science's most profound questions remains: where did life begin? Mounting evidence points once again to hydrothermal vents. In these dark, high-pressure environments, scientists have identified clues pointing toward LUCA, the last universal common ancestor of all life on Earth. Genetic studies suggest Luca was a heat-loving microorganism, thriving without oxygen and generating energy through the Wood-Ljungdahl pathway using hydrogen and carbon dioxide. Life, it seems, did not begin with sunlight, but with the mineral-rich, fiery breath of the Earth. In studying the deep sea, we are touching the earliest genetic whispers that eventually led to you, listening tonight. A symphony of synthesis. Life without sunlight. Night travelers, feel the silence deepen. The deep sea teaches us that nature always prepares alternatives. While life on land depends largely on photosynthesis, hydrothermal ecosystems thrive through chemosynthesis. Here, bacteria transform chemical energy from sulfur and other minerals into living matter, sustaining entire communities, from towering tube worms to pale, eyeless shrimp. These rare ecosystems exist entirely without sunlight. Their discovery reshapes our understanding of life's possibilities and strengthens hopes of finding life beneath the icy oceans of distant moons like Europa or Enceladus. The deep sea becomes our most practical rehearsal space for encountering life beyond Earth. Healing secrets from the extreme. Dear night travelers, the deep sea also offers quiet gifts of healing. Its organisms have evolved biochemical systems capable of enduring cold, darkness, and crushing pressure. Their proteins contain reinforced structures, extra salt bridges that preserve function under immense compression. Microbes from these environments provide enzymes and compounds now being explored for antibiotics and early cancer treatments. With the help of robotic explorers, scientists are deciphering chemical languages that may one day save lives on land. In its silence, the deep sea guards medicine's future. Guardian of the magnetic shield. Night travelers. Imagine the invisible shield protecting your dreams tonight. Deep sea geology is intimately linked to Earth's magnetic field. The continuous creation of crust at mid-ocean ridges and its recycling at trenches fuels the planet's internal engine. This movement sustains the molten iron core, whose rotation generates the magnetosphere, a protective barrier that deflects solar winds capable of stripping away atmosphere and oceans alike. By studying the deep sea, we monitor the heartbeat of the planet itself, a hymn of shared origins. Night travelers, your breath is now slow, deep, and steady. The story of the deep sea reminds us that we are not separate from the abyss. Every atom in your body carries echoes of ancient furnaces beneath the waves. We explore not to conquer, but to understand, and to learn humility before the endurance of life. You are safe under the watchful gaze of billions of years of history, embraced by a planet that has patiently prepared for your presence. Everything unfolds in a gentle, deliberate order. Tonight, let go of pressure and uncertainty. Let the rain outside soften your thoughts. Let the rhythm of the ocean carry you toward rest. Good night, night travelers. The ancient earth and the tranquil deep sea are guarding your dreams.